morning, everyone, and welcome to our DMAC Business Spotlight event. Thank you all for being here today. We are excited to have Marel with us. And our hope with these events is that they're linking your education and your career interests with businesses and professionals. So I just want to say a quick hello. My name is Jill Hoyk. I'm a part of the work-based learning team at DMAC, and so I will be your host today. But I would love to introduce Mickey Miller. He's a recruiter in North America for Marel, and I'm sure you'll discuss this, Mickey, but saying that you're a recruiter for North America, I'm assuming you're located in other countries too as well. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about that. But I will go ahead and turn it over to you to talk a little bit more about Marel. But thank you so much for your time, for being here with us today.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for inviting Marel to this platform. You know, one of the exciting things for our company is we're not quite as well known in the United States, so it's a great opportunity for us to get our brand awareness up, and especially in the areas where we have physical locations. So I'll open with Marel as a company and what we do. So Marel is actually based out of Iceland. So I think that is a very cool thing. When I found out about the organization, and they're like, yeah, no, they were founded out of Iceland. It was in the early 80s. There was some students working on a university project, and they were trying to help the fishing community in Iceland create a more accurate and efficient scale for their fish production. And those students eventually were like, you know what, this is a great thing. Let's make this a company. And hence Marel was founded. And so, I always enjoy listening to the history of how we came to be as a company. We are a global food processing company. We've spread our wings from Iceland all across the globe. As you highlighted, we don't just have operations in North America. We are in 30 countries right now with a little north of 7,000 employees. We started in that fishing community, which is where we're very well known in Iceland. I jokingly say we are, like Microsoft in Iceland, but in the United States, we're still picking up ground. We expanded from fish to poultry and meat. So we work in these three industries where we are looking to transform the food production industry. It's something to where, it may not sound as glamorous, but feeding people and getting people fed every day is part of our mission and something that we're really proud of. From a company culture standpoint, our mission kind of involves unity, innovation, and excellence. And these are things that we strive for on a daily basis. As I mentioned, we have a global footprint, which I think makes us a very unique and different company. I actually work out of my own house in Florida. So I'm in, the southeast part of the United States. My boss sits in Brisbane, Australia. It's a really unique dynamic, and I really enjoy working for a company where I get to hear from multiple different cultures and multiple different perspectives on how work gets accomplished. As I mentioned, we're all over the globe, but I want to try and be specific to people in North America. Like, how would you know of us? Well, I think a lot of people have had Chick-fil-A. A lot of people have eaten chicken nuggets from KFC and Popeyes, and maybe have a Costco around, for some shopping purposes. Those are some of our larger customers, as well as Tyson. If you get those frozen chicken tenders, we're involved heavily there. From a North American presence, we have 4 physical locations. So we have 4 bricks and mortar locations in the US, one in Bellevue, Washington. So all the way on the other side of the world or the country. That's where our software and IT functions are mainly held out of. We have locations in Des Moines, Iowa, and Lenexa, Kansas. Those locations are a lot of our sales, marketing, corporate functions. And then we have a location in Gainesville, Georgia. And for those of you that don't know, Gainesville, Georgia is the poultry capital of the world. So little known fact, and I didn't know it until I joined Marel, and it's something very exciting. And in Gainesville, we have a lot of our manufacturing and supply chain positions. So that's where a strong focus is for us. Now, we do refer to it as our North American region, which includes Canada. We do have a large footprint in Canada, and we're looking to expand operations there as well. Although we don't have a physical location, we are there as well. From like what we do, I mentioned we're in food production, but like, what is that? Like, what do you guys actually do? Well, we're kind of in the middle of the chain. If you think about it, from the protein start and then getting it from the store, we're kind of in between, where we operate or we create a lot of the machinery that helps with the production. We service that machinery. We provide software to those companies that are involved in that process. And then we also provide service and maintenance and overall spare parts. So a lot of times you have a machine that's pretty old and you struggle to find parts. That's where you contact us. So, when it comes to the overall food production industry, we try and provide a full solution to all of our customers, which we have a little north of 2,700 across the globe. And we try and provide that full solution so that they can come to Marel and get set up for success. We ultimately benefit greatly from their success. So, we want to be the best business partner to them that we can. I mentioned machinery. These are multi-million-dollar machines that we're working on a daily basis. And, I've been lucky enough to visit some of our facilities, and you could tell me that these machines were going to be driving to space. They look so different from my expectations of food production. I thought that this industry was more archaic. But no, these machines look top notch. Millions of dollars are invested in the research and development, as well as the overall process to get them to the market. And it's pretty amazing. So I'm excited for what the future of the food industry is going to look like, and very excited that Marel will be part of it. One of the things, as far as careers and what could you do at Marel and where would you fit in, maybe, I think there's a plethora of opportunity. Engineering is a definite. If you are, somebody who's working through the engineering trade, we definitely are a very strong match. We are looking for project engineers, layout engineers, sales engineers, anything from an engineering perspective. We are very invested in that individual. Sales, I recognize there's no set program for sales specifically, but business administration degrees, anything that's going to focus on, hey, I'm entrepreneurial by spirit, and I'm looking to kind of, be my own business in a sense. We would look for those individuals because, right now we currently sit around a $1.4 billion valuation. We are looking to double that in the next 3 to 5 years. We're going to double our workforce. And how are we going to do that? Through expansion and acquisitions. But, from the expansion piece, we're going to need sales people that come into our company and are able to help effectively grow our brand, our product lines, and help introduce new products to market. When I say introduce products to market, I'm sure some marketing folks were like, that's interesting. That's another key component of our, growth. We want individuals that can come in and effectively communicate what we do, how we do it, and how we can benefit that customer. So engineering, sales, marketing, and then, we have every component of corporate function here in the United States as well. So from whether it's finance and accounting, or you're just looking to be a part of our supply chain network, right now, supply chain is another huge component of what we do. There's a lot of global shortages on everything from cars to parts to anything. And so we're looking for individuals that can come in and really help us, navigate things, process improvement. I'm sure as you all are, continuing through your educational here, process improvement, that's one of the new buzzwords. What can I do to make something better? What can I do to make something more efficient? And the people that come in with that mentality and that approach can do great things. Another little slender of our business that's continuing to grow is software. Initially, people hear of a food production company and they're hearing like, oh, machines, I don't know, I don't want to be a food plant. I don't know, that doesn't sound as exciting. We have a lot of positions that are geared towards software. We want to help those businesses become more automated. There's a new term coming out there called a smart plant. And it's not necessarily about trying to eliminate jobs, but necessarily, top grade them. We want people that are more technically proficient in those roles in the plants. And, a lot of that is based around creating software to help with software to assist with the hardware. So, those people that are looking in that space that maybe wouldn't have originally thought of Marel as a place that they could go and, hone their craft. Now I think it's something to where there is an opportunity. And one of the great things about Marel throughout the pandemic, we did excellent. We're creating food. People did not stop eating during the pandemic. So business was good. And as it continues, and we had to learn and be a little more nimble with how we worked, we're now able to provide more remote opportunities. So, as much as we focus on our 4 key geographies for associates, we're able to have people located all across the United States. I'm a great case in point as I live in Florida, but yet I am nowhere near any of our locations, but still hopefully able to effectively communicate Marel's messaging and acquire talent for our company. So as we continue to grow and expand, we've learned to be, smarter with the way we work. And so the opportunity for remote work and being able to do things in a different way has been key for our, success during this really tough time in the market. From a job specifically, I mentioned a few different key areas from engineers to sales to supply chain. The market is changing. The market is different than it was years and years ago. I have been personally in the recruiting space for the last 15 years. I've seen it at its peak. I've seen it at its valley. This is an interesting time to where we have far more jobs than we have applicants. So, it is kind of an applicant driven market right now. And if you're somebody coming out of school, you can probably be more selective about what you do and how you do it. I'd rather not go to a job. I'd rather work from home. Money is going to be something that's key. Now we've increased our salaries, exponentially over the last few years. But, I still don't know if I would say we're the highest paying. We do start, I would think at some great, in some of our engineering roles, we'll start people at $65,000, $70,000 a year. Some of our other positions, I would say the minimum is around $50K a year, which when I was young, that sounded good. I don't know if it sounds as good now, giving away my age, especially with my grayness in my beard. But anyways, so I feel like we are competitive with regards to our salaries. But, it is something that we're consistently evolving on. And, we offer a great benefits package, but we also, once again, we're trying to listen to the market and what people are most interested in. And, I think us being a global company, we're able to take input from all across the world to try and understand, how we can, be more attractive to certain audiences. And hey, what do we need to do? Is it more salary? Is it more time off? Is it the ability to work remotely? Is it the ability to have a hybrid model? And these are things that we're consistently looking at to evaluate and, making Marel a more attractive option to anybody who is, potentially looking for opportunities. So, from an educational standpoint, yes, we would look for degrees. But I will tell you, we are a company that definitely experience matters. If you can get that experience and join with, a few years of experience, you can grow with us in that way organically, which is wonderful to see. We have a lot of associates that started in one capacity and have been promoted 4 or 5 times over their career. Talent development is extremely important to us. Once you get involved with Marel and you start to understand the complexities of what we do and how we do it, that experience is invaluable. So we will look to retain that talent at whatever it takes. And, new positions are being created on a daily basis to help us effectively, work with our customers, but also to help our individuals grow professionally. It's extremely important for us long-term to have individuals that, stay with Marel and really, are part of that vision and mission to, feed more people. As once again, as simple as that sounds, that is something that we are striving for. Everything we do is about, trying to make sure we're maximizing the yield for all of our customers. How can we make the most out of what we have? And, we're also innovative with regards to not just fish, meat, and poultry. We're looking at all types of protein-based options moving forward where, if some supply starts to run low, we're looking at solutions for how to increase other ways to feed people. So that's our overall mission and statement. Once again, we are very excited to interact and engage with any people that are looking to potentially look for an employer of choice. That's where we want to be. That's the audience we want to be in front of. And I can't say enough good things about Marel right now and where we're going. And we'd obviously love to have anybody join in that ride with us.
Thanks, Mickey. I do have a couple follow-up questions. I just want to give a little plug. Des Moines Area Community College. So Marel has a facility in Des Moines, Iowa, but we, who I work for, Des Moines Area Community College, we do have some of those 2-year programs that he was mentioning, engineering. We have like a business administration, marketing, and so cybersecurity, IT, all of that stuff. Again, you could go on to a 4-year college and continue your education too as well. But Mickey, one of the questions I wanted to ask you, just because you have been in the recruiter space for a while, a lot of our students kind of come to our events, being in high school and that type of thing. As a recruiter, what do you feel students could be kind of doing now, right? When they're thinking about their future career, what are some things that you advice you would give young people starting off in their career that would better help them in the future?
Yeah, and it's something too where I feel it's a growing trend that's very hard to put your finger on, but soft skills are a huge focus of most employers now. As much as you will read job descriptions that have 20 to 30 bullets full of things that you must be able to do, or that you will be doing, or you must be required to have, I think soft skills are something that most companies, if you peel back the curtain or whatever and say, well, what do you really want? They want somebody with a positive attitude. They want somebody that can engage with others. And at the core, regardless of what your background is, whether it's engineering or information systems or sales, really you're looking for somebody that's going to come into your organization and have a positive impact and be able to work well with others. And another thing that's not necessarily on a resume, but is the ability to navigate change. The last 2 years have taught so many companies, and I say taught very loosely because they weren't taught this, they had to adapt, they had to change. And because of that, a lot of employers realized, okay, maybe some of these things that we had thought were set had to haves were not had to haves. And in that same vein, as a person that's looking to, enter the workforce or looking for jobs or trying to figure out what somebody would look for, have that flexibility, be open to change. And, once again, I think all of these things are tied together. If you're open to change and you have a positive attitude and, you seem to be, able to engage well with others, the sky is the limit. And I feel that's something that, maybe isn't necessarily as, preached from a lot of people, but I think those key components right there will get you your first interview, they will get you your first job, and they will get you your first promotion. And that's something that I think a lot of people, as they're entering the workforce, be positive, you can control that, be open to change, you can control that, and then, focus on how you interact with others.
No, that's great advice. And I echo all of that. That is something that we do in our offices, is try to prepare professionals and students and that type of thing for their next step. So thank you for touching on that. So as a recruiter that, sits in Florida, but recruits for North America, how do you look for your candidates? So for, students and college students and that type of thing, what platforms are you on? And how do you kind of reach out to people and that type of thing? Can you speak a little bit about that?
I could see you now.
Oh, okay. Did I cut out? Did you hear
Just
what
a
I
little
said?
bit. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
No,
Connected for a
that's
second.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll repeat the question. Sorry about that.
No,
Um,
you're good. It may have been
I
mine.
I just want to know like how you go out looking for some candidates for students, and sometimes we have college students pop on too. What platforms are you on, and how do you engage with professionals and that type of thing? And just kind of what are all the facets, I guess, that you look to when you're trying to find employees?
Sure. And this is something too that it's consistently evolving. So when I started 15 years ago, Monster and Career Builder were the two main engines that we searched for candidates. Now there's many more options. So I would say LinkedIn is probably still the dominant, model from a professional standpoint, but I would say Indeed is still also very much engaged. Candidates are learning more about companies on Glassdoor, and then they're figuring out whether that's a company they want to work for after seeing their rating. There are obviously for college, it's Handshake. There's a lot of universities that are on Handshake, and they're getting postings through there. ZipRecruiter is another one that I hear commercials for all of the time. That it manages to say that it has an artificial intelligence system in there that lets you know when a job is open that you could be a fit for. So if you get registered there, they'll let you know. And so there are so many different platforms now to really help engage the job seeker. And I think the employers right now are utilizing many different. I mean, I think our company is is not unique. We are using all of them. So we have connections with Career Builder, Careers in Food, Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, ZipRecruiter. We have connections and sponsorships with all of those. So we're really looking to utilize whatever platform is most relevant at that time. But as I mentioned, time can change. And, so today, October 5th, I would tell you LinkedIn is still our predominant source, but, 1 year from now, that could be very different. And so, it's a matter of the timing and, once again, the levels of engagement from students and job seekers.
Yes, thank you. I know this was about morale, but I always have to ask professionals in
Sure.
recruiting and HR just, advice for young students. So thank you for
Absolutely.
answering those questions. But
Very welcome.
I do want to thank you for your time today. I have learned so much, so I am excited that you were able to join us today. But thank you again for being here. Do you have any last thoughts that you want to share?
One, obviously, we mentioned Des Moines, and that is one of our key locations. And so anybody that's in that market, once again, we would love the opportunity to connect with those individuals. Being close to one of our facilities is something that's great. It's not a necessity, but it's definitely something that, would be a value add for us being close to one of our facilities. So and once again, I want to say also, I appreciate the time for me being able to come onto this platform. So thank you for that.